Alright, let me grab my beer, grab a couple of smokes, and get this motherfucking show on the road. Greetings, programs. Get your ass in here. Welcome to another week of poverty podcasting and the winter of our discontent. This is the Geeks From Apartment 2 podcast. I am recording from Apartment 2 Studio somewhere deep in the heart of Rock City, New York. I am still a heartbroken Alan One. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to record a lot of people tonight. Like JC once said, you could have been anywhere in the world right now, but you're here kicking it with me, and I appreciate that very much. Unfortunately, Brother C could not be here with me today, obviously, with everything that's going on. He's got his own problems. He's got family stuff that he needs to take care of, and clearly, even right now, as bad as I feel, I can understand that. So, hopefully, he'll be here. You like to think next week? We're actually trying to see each other tomorrow. With social distancing, that might be a bit of an issue, but he has family and need to make sure that my people are okay. So let's take care of some BI out the way first. We are on YouTube, of course, so like, share, and subscribe. Finger pop that bell to be notified of all new episodes whenever they come out. You can email me directly at luckymerciless1@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter at both Geeks From Apartment 2 and at SimplyS1. So, now that BI is out the way, let me talk to y'all. First of all, I'm not sick. You might hear me sniffle. Apartment 2 Studios is just really dusty and dry, and it just wreaks havoc on my sinuses. But for all I know, I could be carrying around this bullshit right now and not even know it, but physically I feel okay. Mentally, up here in the old cabeza. It's an entirely different story altogether, given everything that has been going on, especially in the last 48 hours. And we'll get into a lot of that stuff as we go on. Just like yesterday, last night, as I sat here and bared my soul to all of you out there, this will be a brief episode. There's no reason for me to sit down here for an hour and bullshit with you guys, and take up a lot of precious time, even though, again, a lot of us are out of work. Myself, Brother C, a couple of friends of ours are out of work right now, especially if you're in the food service industry, as it stood yesterday, or as Sunday, I'd like to imagine, here in New York, Governor Cuomo decided to shut everything down, and includes bars and restaurants. It's a very quiet place downstairs right now. As I have alluded to quite a few times, I live underneath a bar, and that bar is fucking closed. As a matter of fact, they have taped up the windows. It has been a very heartbreaking, very confusing, very maddening, frustrating 48 hours for myself, and I'm sure a lot of you people out there as well. Where do I even begin with this? I mean, let's get into some movie shit. This is a geeky podcast, and unfortunately, it's going to be very hard to talk about geeky stuff when clearly there's nothing going on. So let's start with this. AMC, Regal, and the Alamo Drafthouse Theaters have decided to close all of their chains all around the country. And in the case of AMC, they have decided to close down for the next 3 months. Now, if you do the math, that spreads to May. And that meant that Black Widow, the next Marvel movie, was scheduled to drop, including, besides New Mutants, was supposed to drop on May 1st. As it stands today, Disney came out today and said, nah, y'all not going to see Black Widow. That has now been delayed. And I just, in my mind, just assumed that was going to happen. Because I'm like, who the hell wants to see Black Widow. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. I mean, I was kind of curious to see, and it wasn't like I was chomping at the bit to see Black Widow, to be honest with you. But obviously, it is part of the MCU, and I've seen every last MCU movie, and so obviously wanted to see that one as well, but that is not happening. And as it stands, there has not been a new release date for that or a lot of other things. There is a bit of a silver lining with all this, and that is uh, certain studios like Universal have decided to put out movies that are already out or going to be out on VOD. So, for example, The Hunt that came out Friday, this is the past Friday, Trolls 2, which I didn't even know they were doing another Trolls movie, and that hot ass garbage dumpster fire of a fucking movie, The Invisible Man, will be out for video on demand on Friday. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is if you want to see The Invisible Man on video on demand, that is, you can rent it for $20 for 48 fucking hours. Let me spare you that. Put your $20 away, put it for something else. I don't know what the hell that could be at this point. For essentials, obviously, there's no need to spend $20 to sit here and watch fucking The Invisible Man. You can wait on that shit. Wait till it hits the bargain bin in a year when all this hopefully is over, and then watch The Invisible Man. There's no reason to pay $20 to see that bullshit. Nah. Also, Warner Brothers has decided to push up the release of Birds of Prey. That was supposed to come out also on video on demand in April, mid-April, and that has now been pushed up to Friday. So if you are curious to see that, like I said, it was a slightly a bootleg movie. I did like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Hope that she gets another shot at doing this again. It will be out this Friday. So that's what's going on with theaters for the most part. And this has been a record in the last, not since 22 years, that the box office has been criminally low. And obviously, there's a reason for that, with everything that's going on right now. So, and there's nothing in sight for the time being, unfortunately. Let's get into some other news. Yes, as some of you guys might know, poor Idris Elba, he got tested positive for the coronavirus, as did not that long ago Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson. They have also tested positive for coronavirus. Uh, Four players from the Brooklyn Nets is also tested positive for the coronavirus, which is why we're not getting the NBA at least for the foreseeable future. As far as other things, let's get into like tasty tidbits of information and things that have been canceled. Here in The Rock, everything got shut down. As for, again, Governor Cuomo's uh, insistence that everything gets shut down, that means all bars, restaurants to a certain extent. I can tell you here in Iraq, you cannot sit in a restaurant. It is either delivery or takeout at this point. So you can still get food from your favorite restaurant, just you can't sit in a goddamn restaurant. All nightclubs have been closed down. All health spas, gyms have been closed down. And that's obviously, it's a sweaty, just moist, nasty place to be in. So why would you want to be there right now? I think Brother C once again has got a point. He just made his own bar, or not his own bar, well, actually his own bar, but also his own gym as well. So he doesn't have to worry about not getting leg day in. So he's straight. We like to think, anyways. So yeah, those things are canceled. Museums are canceled. Theaters are shut down for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately for me, As we talked about on Thursday of last week, I didn't even know that this was going on, but uh, eventually, I shouldn't say eventually, but immediately after we recorded that episode last week, that little bonus clip, I went on a wrestling website that I trust, Pro Wrestling Torch, just to hear about WrestleMania. And trust me, we're definitely going to get into that shit in a minute. Just to hear what's going on, Mania, and what was if it was going to be canceled, what was going to happen with it. And right on the front page of Pro Wrestling Torch, they announced that both the AEW show in New York and unfortunately here in The Rock were canceled. And my heart sank because I was very much looking forward to seeing the AEW show. Bit of a fan of AEW, and it's not going to happen. What's even worse is that not only can I not go, I can't get my refund right now because unfortunately the box office is closed, which is unfortunate because I kind of sort of need the money right now with me being out of work. So I just have to just wait this out and wait for the box office to be open again. You hope that it will be sooner and soon, but we don't know. And so that I can get my refund. Now, there is a silver lining to all of this. AEW did announce that they will be back here in The Rock on July 8th. So I was just like, oh, fuck. Come back on July 8th or sometime in June. And hopefully this whole thing is over and we can talk then. But as for right now, it's like, nah, I kind of need my refund right now because there's nothing else going on. There's no reason for me to hold on to this ticket until the 8th of July. So you like to think that I'll be able to go to that show, but honestly, right now, everything is up in the air. I'm not thinking about July. Hell, I'm not even thinking about April that much. Like again, we'll get into that. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get into that right now. In other wrestling news, and I'd like to think that if Brother C was here right now, he would his eyes would glaze over until you couldn't see his pupils. But let's talk about what's going on right now. One of the biggest news is going on in wrestling. Us as wrestling fans were waiting on bated breath to see what Vince McMahon would do about WrestleMania 36 that is coming up on April 5th from Tampa, amidst every other sporting event canceling their shit. The NBA has suspended their season. MLB has suspended their season for 2 weeks. The Masters has been postponed. As we told you guys last week, March Madness has been canceled. So I don't even know who would have won that motherfucker. Since then, the XFL they canceled their entire rest of the season. So congratulations to you, Houston Roughnecks, because you guys were the only undefeated team in the XFL at that point. So I guess you guys won the title. And if we're being honest, even before all this happened, I don't think we were going to get another season of XFL anyways. But as it stands, I guess they are pushing along to do a new season in 2021. I guess we'll see this time next year whether or not we get a new XFL. But we aren't getting that anytime soon. Tennis, all of this. And at this point, we don't even know if we're going to get the Olympics in Japan because we don't know how long we're going to be here, folks. We just don't. So, getting back to WrestleMania. So, what is Vince going to do? What would Vince do about WrestleMania? Well, the good news is that WrestleMania will still be going on April the 5th of this year. The bad news is that Tampa, just like a lot of major metropolises, a lot of places around the country and around the world, has decided to cancel everything. That includes mass public events, and that includes WrestleMania. So, Vince had no choice, and WWE had no choice but to acquiesce. And so now WrestleMania has been moved from the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa to the Performance Center, their Performance Center in Orlando. As it stands, is only talent and a very limited crew, and that means that this year's WrestleMania will be in front of no one, not a soul. I showed Brother C came to my house on Saturday before fucking Cloverfield happened, pretty much, and I showed him a clip of what SmackDown, just that Friday SmackDown looked like when it was just the wrestlers themselves in a ring. And he just cocked his head and just was like, this is the weirdest fucking thing I've seen. And you know what? That's what we're getting for WrestleMania this year, folks. So when I heard the news, I immediately texted the usual suspects, that is Brother C, DK, and Token Joe, and told them WrestleMania is canceled this year. That was not a hard decision to make. Actually, I was going to say that it was not a hard decision. It was a hard decision to make. I apologize. Um, it came at a bit of heartache again, because again, these last 48 hours has been nothing but heartache and heartbreak. But it's necessary for two reasons. One is because I'm trying to keep people safe, because heaven forbid if I have it, heaven forbid if one of them has it and they give it to their loved ones, their family. And there's people in, especially in their family right now, who are elderly, and it would not be a good time to have even that many people inside here. But also, just as important, programs, this ain't WrestleMania. It can't be what we want that to be this year. If you don't understand what WrestleMania means to me, I want you guys to think about, it was just almost a month ago, a little over a month ago, that we all sat here and watched the Super Bowl from Miami. I want everybody to just take a second and think back just a little over a month ago. We all sat here and watched J-Lo and Shakira shake their behinds on TV. There was pomp and circumstance. Now I want you guys to imagine the Super Bowl in front of a gymnasium with nobody around. That's what WrestleMania is this year. There is not going to be 80,000 people in that stadium that night. There's not going to be some grand stage. I'm quite curious to know or see just what that stage would have looked like if we would have gotten the WrestleMania that we all wanted. There's not going to be the cool entrances. There's not going to be pyro flying around everywhere. So because of that, there's no WrestleMania. There's nothing. All they're doing is just, it's like dress rehearsal. They're just filming a dress rehearsal. And that's not going to work. There are some people out here that are very curious to know what an empty WrestleMania would look like. Like, what is that? Out of morbid curiosity. Yeah, I'll sit there and watch that. I can tell you that I will not be. As I said yesterday, I don't care. Didn't really care about it before. When the news broke yesterday, I finally just did not care at all. It'll be the first time in 10 years. Again, as I told you guys last time, that I will not see WrestleMania. I will skip it this year. And actually, to be honest, it will also be the third consecutive pay-per-view that I skipped in WWE. I didn't see the Saudi show that happened a few weeks ago. I didn't see Elimination Chamber that happened 2 weeks ago. And I won't be seeing WrestleMania. And that is coming from a guy that has been a fan of this for almost 40 years. That is like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. And again, that's a sad time. I tip my cap to WWE for at least giving fans who do want to see WrestleMania something to see, but it won't be the same. And even if at some point after all of this, because I do believe there will be a, like the song says, a morning after. Um, and when that day hits, and to sit there and try to watch that show, it's going to be a lost one for me. Because I'm going to sit here and think to myself, yeah, that was at a time that I was at my lowest emotionally. And honestly, I don't want to relive that anytime soon. I'd rather just move on, just like everybody else is. So, that's Mania, folks. Or that was Mania. There will be no podcast that day. There'll be nothing. This may be a good thing because we can go back to last year and that debacle, and there's a part of me that's a little glad that that may not happen again this year, and that I don't have to worry about trying to plan on doing a show and trying to put on that type of show again. There is no show. Is what it is. Sucks for everything. Oh, what else can I tell you guys right now? There's not much to say. It's kind of weird doing a show. Like I said in the beginning, trying to do a show that's about pop culture, and when there's no pop culture to talk about. This might be the year of the revisit, honestly. This might be the time where you just watch old shit, because there's no new shit coming on the horizon for quite some goddamn time. Like I said, it was going to be a short show. I didn't want to waste too much of you guys' time. It's surprising that I did 21 minutes of this show. But I wanted to come on here and let you guys know what's going on and try to keep you guys informed and let you know what's going on. So, fuck it. Let's get out of here, y'all. And you got other things to do and more important things to do than sit here and listen to my sad ass voice. So, let's do some box office numbers. Hold on for a second. Let me get my computer over here. Ugh. Getting old, folks. Getting old. Glad to see that you hope you guys are doing completely well out there. I know this is a horrendous time for so many of us out here, so many of you out here. As I said yesterday, Christ's brother see, him and his significant other have 3 kids and a fourth coming on the way in the middle of all this. I'm going through it. A lot of people I know right now are going through it. Like people I know out of work, not sure how they're going to supplement that income right now. Scary, scary. But again, well, Lord knows what you like to think we'll get through it, and hopefully humanity will not completely collapse on itself. But for right now, it's a storm that you didn't have an umbrella for, unfortunately. You know, we all got to walk in the rain and let the rain hit our heads, and that's not gonna be fun for a while, but it'll dry up, man. It's gonna come out again. At least I like to think, anyways. Even somebody that's like me right now, who suffers from depression and anxiety and isolation. Shit, like, why wouldn't give for a little bit of human interaction right now? What some of us wouldn't give for a little bit of action right now. But you know what? Motherfucker, you can't have that right now. It's not allowed. It's called social distancing. So you know what? Let's keep it a bean, folks. Fire up that Pornhub. Fire up the spank bank. Because that's the only action you won't get for a while. You're going to have to make do with watching other people fuck when times were happier than they are right now. And that's all we get. And that includes you ladies as well. Yep. You got toys, break them out right now. You're going to be stirring your own soup right now. Don't ask nobody else to do that for you. Unless you're with someone. And even then, you better hope that that other person ain't got that shit either. Or y'all both fucked. So, if you can't be with the ones you want to be with your computer. For the time being. It sucks. I do like to think when this whole thing is over, man, it's gonna be like one massive fucking party. It's gonna look like Coachella with all the drugs. It's gonna be wild out here. Maybe by the end of the summer, or you like to, or hopefully by the beginning of the summer, but certainly by the end of the summer, you like to think. Hell, I like to think by May would have got a grasp on this. You know what I mean? If you can't figure this shit out by May, we are fucked as a society. But I pray, well, not pray, because I'm not religious, but I hope it'll get better before it gets worse. For me, for you, for yours, and everything else. So let's get the hell out of here. Like I said, let's do some box office numbers. These are the highest grossing movies of the past weekend, according to JoeBlow.com. As I said before, it's been 22 years since the box office was this low. It's a very, very sad time. But the uh, the number one movie in the country this weekend was the Pixar movie Onward. It made another $10 million, $60.2 million. That is the highest grossing movie of the weekend. $10 million. I want you to think about that for a second. That's how bad it is. Number two was I Still Believe. I have no idea what the fuck this movie's about, but it made $9.5 million. Number three was a movie that I have but have not seen yet. That is Bloodshot. Like to think next time that I see to saw this movie, but honestly, right now, uh, even doing this is taking a lot of goddamn strength, and so I don't have much strength to do much. If it makes y'all feel better, I had to force myself to eat shit today. I was not with it, but anyways, that movie debuted at $9.3 million. Number four was that bullshit ass movie Invisible Man, made $6 million. It's up to $64.4 million. Number five was The Hunt, which again I said you can see on video on demand on Friday if you so choose to. That one debuted at $5.3 million. Six was The Hedgehog. It made $2.5 million, up to $145.8 million. Seven was The Way Back, aka Ben Affleck cries at everything. At least in this movie, that movie made $2.4 million, up to $13.4 million. Eight was The Call of the Wild, $2.2 million, $62.1 million. Number nine was Emma, that made another $1.3 million, up to $10 million altogether. And number 10 was Bad Boys for Life, $1.1 million, $204.2 million. And coming up this weekend ain't a goddamn thing coming up this weekend. Sadly enough, Friday was supposed to be A Quiet Place too. So I was very much looking forward to. Something else I was looking forward to that unfortunately is getting snatched from us temporarily. Temporarily, anyways. And they have not announced a new release date for that or anything else. And as far as what I'm looking forward to in the next 7 days, not a fucking thing. Not a goddamn thing. Other than just trying to stay alive and keep my head above water. Like all of you out there. That's what I'm looking forward to in the next 7 days. Trying to stay afloat and keep my fucking sanity in the sea of all this craziness. If there's one last thing that I will tell you before I leave, let me say this. Hold on for a second. All right, put this fucking laptop down. Try to find my lighter. I know in my heart, everyone, that all of this is temporary, right? This isn't permanent. This is The Stand. I thought it was funny today that even Stephen King had to come out and say, no, 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 no. The coronavirus is not anything like The Stand. Like, we're going to be fine. And I like to think that we will be fine. It's just, again, just something we all got to just ordeal and sit through and be patient about. The sun will come out again. It's not permanent. It's just temporary. Even you like to think how I feel inside in the last 48 hours will subside at some point, and I can hopefully get back to where I want to be. But for right now, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. Again, there's help out here if you need it. And certainly right now, fuck pride. Swallow that shit. Swallow your fucking pride. If you need help, fucking ask for it. And I even had to take my own advice on that one because I have a really hard time asking people for help. Never mind when all this shit's going on. Even when nothing's going on, I need help and I have a hard time asking for help. And I know that I need to swallow that shit as well and say, hey, listen, right now I need to fucking help. Here in New York State, if you're out of work right now and you can afford to be on unemployment, there is one good thing about that. They have waived the 7 day waiting period. So you can get it right away if you need it. So, and I unfortunately we'll have to get on that at some point as well next week and for the foreseeable future. So, I'll leave you with this. Everybody keep your head up. God knows I'll try to do the same. Hopefully, Brother Steve and I will be back here next week. We can't promise you that. If not, I will be here on this motherfucking mic because right now this is the only thing I can do is be on this mic and try to keep you guys informed, maybe entertained if I've reached even one of you right now. As I sit here and try to mend a busted up heart, but to give you just a little sliver of my heart to you, then I hope that I've done my job today. But I'll see you here next week. I've been Alan 1. This has been Geeks from Apartment 2. Lord willing, we'll see you next week. Take care and good luck. And stay safe.